Hello and welcome. I am Matt Roddy, and this is the Greater Prescott podcast, where we talk about, you guessed it, all things Greater Prescott. Today, I want to welcome my guest, Debs Snyder from Cooking in the Cabin. Deb, thank you very much for your time today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I like to eat.
Oh, me too.
And I'm so blessed from a wife who enjoys cooking and experimenting, and one of the fascinating things that I have come to learn is there's a lot to cooking.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
So you guys are gonna get to learn about Deb's background, and we're gonna get into what she did more for a career. I think before she was, well, kind of retired and doing the cooking thing. You're just gonna get to learn a lot about her, and then we're gonna talk food.
Okay.
Because it's fun, it's interesting, and we all eat, so we're all going to get stuff out of it.
Super, yeah.
So, yeah. Come on in. You're good.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going up.
Oh, yeah, they're going up. Okay, so let's dive. Actually, before we begin, we want to thank Spice Traveler and all of you for letting us use their stage. The stage is kind of hidden, so actually if you come into the building, you come all the way in the back and look up, and you're going to see this cool little stage, and maybe one day it'll get more stage use, but thank you very much for letting us use this space. That's what you guys see in the background. So if you guys need any, what do they have here, Deb?
Oh, they have something for everybody in this store. Number one, it's a foodie's paradise. They have spices and herbs and teas and olive oil and vinegars and tons and tons of gift items. Really unique things for all ages, really. Yeah. So. Honestly, people come in here, they can spend an hour or two just moseying around, looking to see what there is. And the owners, Bill and Glenda McCleary, are doing a great job bringing in things from all over, local stuff, but also other things that are just unique, things you're not going to find everywhere. Yeah. So people are blown away when they come in this store. And of course, it's in a beautiful historic building with brick and I think I don't know, it's very old. I think 1929 or something beautiful. Like that. I don't know. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful space. So very inviting and fun. So thank you to them for letting us be here, because it's a cool spot.
My first tangent, you used the word unique. So this store has tons of unique things. Mm-hmm. And I love unique things in life. Like they're just something that you can't to have the same thing the same way over and over, it just doesn't do it for me. Right. And so one of the things I find fascinating about other people are just what makes them unique, which we're going to get into about your story. And sure. It makes my heart happy.
Well,
so I'm excited.
Me too.
So I want you to kick it off. Where were you born and raised? Okay. What did you do when you were a kid? Let's give people a sense of that kind of stuff.
Okay. Well, I was born and raised in New Jersey. I grew up in Wayne, New Jersey, North Jersey, about 20 minutes from the George Washington Bridge. And let's see. So near our house, we had a roller rink, and I actually got into competitive speed skating.
Oh, yeah.
So I was a competitive
that makes sense.
Competitive speed skating.
You can just look at me from now on.
Okay. Yep. Competitive speed skating, and I ended up working in a roller rink. My parents split up when we were really young, so we didn't have a lot. Didn't have a lot of food. They call it food insecure now, but of course we didn't call it that then. We just didn't have a lot. So you just had to get out there and make your own way. And so I started working early on, like when I was 13, in the roller rink as a skate guard, and then as the concessions manager. And then I went on to work at a pizza place down near our house too. Yeah. And all of this before I was 16, because that child labor laws were pretty much non-existent back then. And you just hustled, and you made things happen. And I think I realized early on that if I worked with food, I would never be hungry. I would always be taken care of. And so that drew me to it as far as jobs go and hustling. And then during high school, my home ec teacher, Mrs. Toohey, took us all on a trip to the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park, New York.
All right.
Which was about an hour and a half north in upstate New York from where I'm from. So, we get on the bus and we go up here. Now that I'm older, when I think back about it, it's like, that was really a big trip.
That's a big trip. Yep.
But, here we went. So we went up there, and as soon as I got to that school, and smelled the smells, which now I know are like chicken stock, like just the real foodie smells. And walked the halls and saw this big school on the Hudson River, overlooking the Hudson River. You can see West Point from there. It's just beautiful. As soon as I got there, I kind of connected the idea. I'm like, wow, this is really the place I would like to be.
Yep.
Of course, I had no idea how I would get through school because it's, and what high school kid really cares? So they're just like, I'm going to go here.
Right.
We're not big on the follow through.
Yeah.
But through, scholarships and working and other people that helped me, I went to the Culinary Institute of America.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was a great experience.
Did you go right after high school?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, about 6 months after. You have to have so much work experience before you go.
Oh,
and,
that's good.
And I had been working, so it was fine.
Okay.
So I went to the CIA, and then on the weekends I would take the train from Poughkeepsie down to Grand Central Station in New York, take the bus to New Jersey, and then I would work back in New Jersey in a restaurant by my house. And then I would go back up on Sundays but anyway, I loved it. You're young, you have a lot of energy.
Of course.
You're not tired in that. So you're going.
Yep.
And then through the CIA, there's an internship program. So before you graduate, you have to go and work somewhere. So I had an aunt down in New Orleans. So I went down there and I did my externship from CIA in New Orleans.
Okay.
So that was a great experience to be, 20 years old in New Orleans.
Well, it seemed like what a great experience for people at the CIA to go to different, they're not ethnicities, but different types of cooking, different cultures. I mean, because the way they cook is different.
Right.
So what a rich experience.
Yeah, And of course, the Culinary Institute has been around a long time, and so they have a lot of graduates. So there's a lot of, places to go. Good, big network of people to pull from. So that was a great experience, cooking there and that cuisine, and I love the food of New Orleans. We actually just my husband and I went back there in January this year together. He had not been there, and I took him around. Yeah. And it was really, it's fun, interesting, great food.
Did the memories pour back?
Yeah. It was, it's funny though, going back this time, I wasn't working.
Of course.
I was more of a, just enjoying the food and a tourist. So I had a little more time to go around and see things that I didn't, I knew were there, but I didn't really have the time because I was working, at the time. But it was a great experience. So.
Man.
Yeah.
What are a couple things that you remember from that experience? And the reason I ask is I think traveling is a really rich opportunity, and it gives you perspective that you don't otherwise get. We talked about before the podcast, if you were born and raised in Tucson like I was, and then I went to New Jersey for an internship, the perspective you get was, oh my gosh, there's a whole nother world. And so just experiencing those sort of things, we all learn and grow in unique ways. What are a couple of things that you remember from that, whether it was the food aspect or just simply life and being in a different culture?
Yeah, well, like when I went down for my externship, it was summer, so I remember it was hotter than Hades.
Yes,
it was humid, and I wasn't really expecting that. But as far as the culture and the people, working in a kitchen this kitchen was a new experience for me because there were a lot of Vietnamese people. There was a large, and there still is a large population of Vietnamese people across the river from New Orleans. Okay. And so I had a lot of Vietnamese people in the kitchen, which I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
And then and a large African American population also. And so it was interesting because I was in the minority. I had not really experienced that yet. I was young, I was 20. And so it was interesting to have those cultures. Absolutely. And what I remember is each different people would be in charge of the family meals. So when you work in a restaurant, a lot of times they'll have a family meal. So that means somebody's making food. Everybody sits down as a staff and eats before service.
Gotcha.
So number one, you're not starving, but but number two, it's just a way to kind of kick off the evening.
Definitely.
So we sit down and you talk and you break bread, and it helps the relationships and all that good stuff.
That's huge.
But of course, our family meals down there were really interesting because we had people cook what they know. Yes. People cook what they like, and they cook their best stuff. So I remember the family meals being really interesting
Oh, I
because
bet.
it was food I had not experienced. You know, I mean, it was some great soul food. It was the Vietnamese food, and of course the
Yeah.
Cajun
Yeah.
food. So it was really amazing.
That's so neat.
Yeah, and unexpected.
Yes.
So, you know, we had talked earlier about when you're traveling, you meet different people and you really broaden your horizons. And of course, at that point, you know, I was young, and I've gone on since then. You know, we moved to Arizona after I graduated. Again, I was introduced more to a large Hispanic population, and so it, you know, it's important to have those experiences. Otherwise, you don't really realize what's out there,
Right.
And you really can embrace the differences that people bring, because that's what it is. It's
what it's
everybody
about.
has a gift, you know, and they're sharing with you. So which is cool.
Yay.
So that was
That's
fun.
why I asked the question.
Yeah.
I'm glad that that's part of what you got out of it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Nice. All right. So after college, what'd you do?
Well,
What is an aspiring chef?
Yeah. Well, who doesn't just pack up everything they own and move all the way out to Arizona from New Jersey? I met my first husband in culinary school.
Okay.
And we moved out. We weren't married yet, but we moved out to Arizona. His family was here. So we came out here to Arizona.
All
and so I've been in Arizona for a long time,
Yes.
with some time out of the state in Texas. Well, now he's my ex-husband, but at the time we were married, he was a chef, and so a lot of chefs change jobs a lot. And so I always joke that, you know, we were like the military, but without all the benefits.
Yeah.
We were,
Oh, that's a good way to
we
put
were always
it.
moving and,
Yep.
you know, schlepping. And during that time period, you know, I also have 3 kids. So I had 3. Well, I have them. They're grown now, but I had 3 kids. So, you know, here we are moving around.
Yeah.
And so we came to Arizona, and then we ended up going to Texas for a couple years, which is where I feel like I lost my New Jersey accent. If you're wondering where it is, people always say that. Well, you don't sound like you're from New Jersey. Like, the only time I sound like I'm from New Jersey is if I am mad.
Oh, okay. Then it comes out.
Then it comes out, or if I'm on the phone with my relatives.
Yeah.
That, you know, then it comes back, and, you know, we're loud and all that. But aside from that, I think Texas neutralized me.
Makes sense. Makes sense. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So we came out here, and I started working at the Ritz-Carlton in Phoenix.
Okay.
They had just opened, and I was a pastry cook.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I always say, you know, I started working after I graduated from the CIA at the Ritz-Carlton as a pastry cook for $6.75 an hour.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just one of those things, and I don't mind, I like to remember that because, you know, it's very humbling. You know, you all start somewhere, and that's one of the things about people that come out of culinary schools. Culinary school is wonderful. However, you know, sometimes people come out and they think they already are the top chef.
They're going to be Wolfgang Puck.
Yeah. And then they're like, well, there's a dishwasher.
Yeah, right.
You know.
What is the worst job in a restaurant? That's your job.
The worst job, but the most important job. Yeah.
Good point.
Honestly. And so, so that's what happens. And so for me, you know, money is money. It's fine, but really, it's just working your way up and trying to be humble. Because when you come in with an attitude or you think you know everything, then nobody wants to help you.
I was gonna say it's a bad place. It's a bad starting point.
Yeah. So
and it's like that in no matter where you work. Like, life is much better living with humility. Going, hey, I need some help doing this and that, and then people are going, yes, I can help you. Let's do it. But if you're just full of pride, it's hard. The road is hard.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, in the food industry, especially a lot of chefs, and I hate to say it, but a lot of male chefs in particular, there's a lot of ego.
Of course.
A lot of bravado. And,
of course.
Which is kind of a shame, because I find, like what you just said, if you are open and down to earth and you own your mistakes and whatever, put it out there, people really generally want to help you.
I could not agree more. I actually think they'll want to die for you in a sense. It's like the general who's leading his group of troops. Like, if he's the first one to say, I'm going first, everyone behind him's going, I'm going to take care of you. And it's just that attitude.
Exactly.
Really important.
Yeah, your people will be behind you instead of looking to throw you over.
Totally. That's it. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what brought me to Arizona.
Okay.
And got me started on my way.
Yep. Were you essentially full-time or did you stay at home raising a family at all while your husband was doing the chef stuff at the time?
I worked
okay.
full time, and so
Yeah.
I had school loans to pay off.
Yeah.
That and kids, and so so I worked full time. So
Okay.
I worked as a pastry cook, and the beginning of my career was mostly baking pastries.
Okay.
So that's my forte. I also
Yeah.
spent years doing wedding cakes, and it's my side hustle.
Yes.
That kind of thing.
Yep.
And then eventually, when I got tired of working Easter and holidays and weekends and all the other crappy hours that people in food service work, I found an opportunity to, like I said, the road always takes you where you need to go. You may not know where you're going, but life leads you really where you're supposed to go. And so at the time, they were transitioning in Arizona from home ec classes to commercial cooking classes in the high schools. So like culinary arts, true culinary arts. So all the Becky home ec kitchens start to go away. They start to remodel and put in commercial equipment. Well, they realized that the teachers, the home ec teachers, didn't know how to use the equipment they were putting in.
Not surprising.
Yeah, because now we're transitioning from homemaker skills to commercial cooking skills. So the Arizona State Department of Ed decided that they were going to make a pathway for chefs to come in and teach high school.
Okay.
So they're going to get people in here that know how to use this equipment and clean it and all that good stuff and do catering and all of that. And so when I first started teaching, that's exactly what happened. So it was just perfect timing, and that was almost 20 years ago.
Okay.
That happened. So in the state of Arizona, there's been a big push for job skills, like vocational training. They call it career and technical education now, but it's voc ed.
Yep.
And so they wanted to get people in place. So I was fortunate enough to take my credentials that I had and experience and transition that into a teaching certificate. And I've taken a lot of credits along the way to keep it, to keep my certification.
Right.
But it was really a great opportunity. So now I was able to be home with my kids and have the summer off. And all those things that come with teaching.
Wow, talk about a culture shock.
Yeah.
Going from the restaurant schedule to teacher schedule.
Yeah,
That's
I remember
wonderful.
thinking, this is very civilized. Why didn't everybody do this? And now more and more chefs, I do think that the trend is starting to bend that way, where chefs are looking for more work-life balance. They're realizing that, there's too much alcoholism, too much divorce, too much. It's tough. And then, we need to have benefits, and they need to have things that are in other professional careers. And so I'm hoping that transition happens for the industry. I really do.
Yeah,
but,
good point.
But that's what got me going in that tangent, the teaching. So it worked out well. I taught for almost 20 years. And
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So and it was high school age?
High school and community college.
And community college.
Yeah.
Similar classes?
Yeah. I did wedding cake production and some hybrid stuff. And, all cooking, culinary. So.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go back. When you were at CIA, what is Culinary School? What do they teach you? What are their philosophies? That's just a fascinating world.
Yeah. Well, they have a couple different programs they offer, but I did the basic professional cooking, which is everything, well-rounded. And
it's well-rounded in a sense.
It's very well-rounded. So, you could come out and specialize in something, but at the time, it's just a professional degree. And so you do everything. You learn sanitation and management, nutrition, as well as all the different cooking skills. Meat fabrication, butchering, making pantry stocks, and baking pastry, all kinds of things. And they're blocks. It's like 3-week blocks for each course. Okay. And then you go into something else. And the whole program that I did lasted about 2.5 years.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
Yeah. And then, but now they offer the school. At the time, they didn't offer a bachelor degree, just associates, which is what I have. Then now they offer a bachelor's degree, but I mentioned earlier, I'm currently going back to school online for my bachelor's of business through the CIA. Okay. So to kind of round out my experience and learn more stuff, because we're always learning, so we should be, at least. Yep. In my opinion.
Yep. Yeah. I love to learn. So, it didn't hit me till I was not an academic person. Just growing up, I was very sports. I was very athletic. Anyways, it wasn't until I was probably 25 that I realized I really like learning, and so now I'm just on this kick. I feel like for probably the rest of my life. Just keep learning.
Keep
There's
learning, yeah.
so much to learn in life, whether it's just know how to do a podcast or cooking or whatever it is that you're interested in.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I find going back as an older student, I am now the kid that when I was teaching, I hated because I am now the kid who's like, how come I lost points on this? Like, I want to know, like, I want to get good grades. And if I don't, I want to know where I want feedback, so if I have a professor that just, puts in the points and doesn't say anything, it's like, well, I need feedback. I welcome feedback. I really do, because that's how we get better.
That is.
So it's really funny that now I'm a much better student now.
Of course.
Than I was then.
I would hope that all of us are at this point.
I would hope. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of funny. So I told my husband, I said, well, end of the semester, I'm going to print my report card up there, put it on the fridge. I said, we're going to have to work out how much I get for the A's.
Yeah.
It's like with the kids.
You have to go to dinner after the first day of school. You have to go to dinner that night because that's the tradition, or like all those things you did when you were.
I need to start working some more things in.
Yeah, exactly. You got to milk this, Deb.
I really
Come
do.
on.
I really do.
When you said one of your first job at the Ritz-Carlton was as a pastry chef, was that? How did you end up in that role? Was that something that over time, it sounds like that's been a passion of yours in general. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I really, I was just starting out, so I had a lot of, I had worked in kitchens, like cooking on the line as a saute cook and a grill cook and all of that. And then I had a little taste of the pastry side of it, from school. And then also in New Orleans, I did some of the pastries. And so I knew I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
And so I started as a pastry cook. And so that's a pretty low entry level position for pastry. And I just worked my way up and learned a lot. And so, but what I liked about the pastry side of it, and still do, is that in the bake shop of places where you work or, whatever, it's quiet. It's not hectic. When you work on the line and the orders come in and it's a Friday night and it's 1,000,000 degrees and they're hollering, people are hollering, like, I just don't enjoy that environment myself. It's not where I feel my best.
Yep.
So I like to think about things. My husband and I was left because we always see like the Guy Fieri's Grocery Wars and all these shows, right, they have on the TV. And he's like, you'd be great at this. I'm like, I would not be great at this because I need time to process.
Yes.
Like, I am not on the fly, you know, like I can come up with great stuff, but I just need to think about it,
Absolutely.
And,
so you found a little bit of a niche, just something that fit you a little better.
Yeah, my personality and just I don't like the stress level of it,
Yeah, that makes sense.
I am chill overall, so I think, that's just a good place to be.
Yep.
So
that's good to know.
Yeah.
I think it's vitally important, actually, that you know that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right. So you go to CIA, you raise a family, you and your ex-husband work at a bunch of different places, and you become a science teacher. Then you officially tell us, kind of move toward getting you into Prescott. Tell us about just how that all worked out.
Okay, so my husband Jeff, my second husband, he is a science teacher.
Okay.
So he's a little older than me, and so as we're getting closer to retirement, his retirement, we have another couple we know that bought a house up in Prescott, and a couple years before
because you were down in the valley.
We're in the valley down in Phoenix, and so we were looking around because this couple friends of ours that bought a place up here before they retired were fixing it up to move up here when they retired, and we thought, well, this is a good idea, we should look into this. So we started looking around, and we decided that we loved Prescott, the vibe and the people and all that, and so we bought our house about 5 years ago. And then we would come up on the weekends and summers and that kind of thing, and I had just come off the street one day, and I walked into Spice Traveler, and I had already been doing cooking classes and things at home, down in the valley, and so I asked them if they did cooking classes here, because I don't know, I just had a vision that this would be a cool place, because it's such
a cool place.
It's a cool store with all the foodie stuff. It really was great. So their eyes lit up. They're like, wow, well, we haven't had them in a while because the person who used to do them is gone. And so we started the first summer. I put a couple of classes out there, and we had people coming, and they sold lots of products, and it was just a lot of fun and really good for both the store and myself.
Absolutely.
And this continued still continues
Okay.
to this day. We moved, my husband retired 2 years ago from teaching science. And so we moved up here to Prescott full time. And so then we expanded our classes, and now we have a pretty big group of people that sign up. We put the emails out, and they sign up, and and a lot of the customers that we have really have even become more like friends.
That's it.
And that's really, I've taught a lot of places. I've taught high school, I've taught community college, I teach at After 11, I teach here at Spice Traveler. But what the thing with the people up here is that they're so down to earth and so nice and gracious. And it's interesting because sometimes when you are down like in Scottsdale and other places, you'll have people that come to classes and they have traveled and they have some money and they have, and sometimes it's really hard to teach them things because they have had other experiences. Yeah. Whereas the people here, which I'm sure have had the same experiences as everybody else, and probably more money, even, they are as down to earth as you can believe. It's just really nice. And so that's one of the reasons I fell in love with Prescott. My husband too. And
it's a great word, down to earth. I think that's a fantastic word to describe this area. I just had a conversation with someone yesterday. We're not a flashy area. We're not gonna show everything off area. We're just a very humble, almost like a lunch pail Joe. I mean, you're just a normal person. Right. You probably didn't have such a normal background, but you're just normal in that sense.
Yeah, and I think that's how it should be. I like to think I'm approachable. Yes. And same thing with other people. I can contact other people, and we can just chit chat, and nobody's better, and I feel like we're all in it together.
I think so. That's been my experience almost to a T in this town. Yeah. Yep. It's great. Almost everyone has been approachable. So I think it's great. I hope, I'm sure it will continue, because people that come here, they come and they feel it. Exactly.
And if they do come and they don't have the same mindset, they're surrounded by other people that will bring them on board.
Exactly. Yeah.
I feel like they'll train them up.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Exactly. So you start a relationship with Bill. Who's Bill's wife?
Glenda
Bill and Glenda, who own Spice Traveler, and all of you. Right. You move up here full time. Let's dive into cooking in the cabin. Why don't you just start off so I get a nice 1-minute soundbite. What is cooking in the cabin? What do you do? Okay. Go for it.
Yeah, cooking in the cabin is my business. It's an LLC. And basically, I handle all my cooking classes through there and private events. So let's say you're going to have an anniversary party for your parents, and you have maybe 20 people, and you want to have a nice dinner party at your house. I come in, we plan a menu. I come in to your house, I cook all the food, I serve it, and all
take care of it.
And I take care of everything for you. And then I do private cooking classes as well. I'm a little bit on a limited schedule right now because I'm going back to school. Yes. So I'm still doing things, but not as many because I'm only one person. Yeah. And my husband is retired, so he has, I have to keep him happy too. So it's a balancing act. But so I have that, and then here at the store, I'm still doing cooking classes. Great. We always take a little break around the holidays because it's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs around here. It's busy. But we'll be starting back up again. Probably January, February. And we're also going to be doing a new baking venture here in the store. We're going to have baked goods and a little bakery inside Spice Traveler. You've been looking for some. I'll send some stuff your way so you can try it out before we get rolling. But some interesting things utilizing the products here. So,
good idea.
Yeah, so we'll have biscotti, and we'll have crackers, and we'll have things that use the fantastic olive oils and vinegars and spices that are in the store. So it's really, it's exciting is what it is. So
wow.
Yeah, really exciting.
Man, you got a nice little thing going.
I really do. I'm living my best life right now.
I was going to say, so one of the things I always want to come across is, yes, you cook, and a lot of people cook, but why? What is it where's the passion come from? Where do you get the pleasure? So just speak to that a little bit.
Well, I think for myself and probably most chefs, we are givers. We show love by making food for you.
Yeah.
So if you come to my house, we're eating. If I come to your house, I'm bringing stuff. It's just one of the ways that I can express how I care about people, and that's one of the things that drives me.
Okay.
The other thing is that food is for everybody. It doesn't matter if you are old, young, poor, rich, whatever, wherever you live. It doesn't Africa, wherever you're from. Food is very powerful. It evokes memories of other people and places and time where we've been.
Yep.
And so I just think it's just something to behold food, honestly, and revere it and to share it. And that's the other thing, because a lot of chefs, keep their secrets closely guarded and all of this. And of course, I was a teacher, so I'm all about sharing already. But I do feel like it is up to us to share what we know, whether it's cooking or whatever.
Yeah.
But
that makes sense. Cooking
in particular, because our young people today really need to know how to cook something for their own health.
Yeah.
I always said I think every high school student should have at least one cooking class, because the dollar menu will kill them eventually if they're not careful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we need to promote that, and it's just one of the good things about COVID, and there's not all that many, but one of the good things that I see is that I think it has brought people back together, back to the dinner table.
Agreed.
And I think that's wonderful, and I hope it keeps up. I really do, because I think it's a really powerful thing, and also just to be able to share. So I'm hoping for myself, in addition to baking and all the other things I want to do professionally here, I really hope to be able to collaborate with some of the other chefs and organizations to promote ending hunger, to promote ways we can feed people, to just be a part of the community in some way to help.
Awesome.
Hopefully. So I'm working, I'm hoping, I'm sure opportunities will present themselves, because that's life,
Yep. No, that is. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, sure.
I always love hearing why people do what they do. My wife, Emily, loves cooking, and I think you nailed it on the head. She just loves giving. Like there's something inside of her that just loves that aspect of it.
Yeah, we want to feed people.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Let's talk. I wrote a couple notes down. We'll go in. I'll have you go into just a little more depth. So there's cooking classes, personal chef, private events, recipes. These are some things I got from the website.
Right.
Speak to just a little more in depth on the cooking classes. What have you done in the past? What can people expect? And just the experience that they're going to get.
Okay. Well, the ones I do the cooking classes we do in the stores are demonstration classes. And so, normally it's about 2 hours.
All right.
Same with private classes. They're always about 2 hours long. They can be, if they're hands-on, because some of the private classes will be hands-on, we can, hand roll pasta. We make pies. We do all kinds of hands-on things. But a lot of times I find that for the larger groups, anything more than 6 people really has to be demonstration, because it's hard to keep everybody busy.
Makes
unless
sense.
We're making 800 pies.
Yeah.
It's just a lot.
Yeah.
So, and actually most of the clientele we have here in Prescott, a lot of them do want just the entertainment of it, the social part of it.
I could not agree more.
Yeah. It's funny, we have people come in when we do our classes here at the store. They sit in the same seats and they all get to know each other. It's very social.
Absolutely.
I mean, it is. It's a fun event. So that's really what you can expect. Hands-on classes or demonstration. I bring everything. I give you recipes. We go through it. We just have a really good time. We don't take everything too seriously.
No, have fun. Cooking's fun. Food's fun.
It's definitely fun.
It's social.
And we do, and we eat.
Yeah.
So that's the reward of it, right? We get to eat as we go.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
You mentioned personal chef. Give us a couple examples of that.
Okay, so as I mentioned, if you're having a party at your house, we fix up a menu. We decide ahead of time what you want to have, what's going to cost, and all that kind of stuff, what I need to bring. And then I show up a couple hours before with all my stuff, and then I cook all the food. I plate it. I set it all out. Or sometimes I drop stuff off.
Of course, however it works.
Yeah, I just did a 80th birthday party, and we out by Talking Rock. It was beautiful out there, and dropped off barbecue and all kinds of things. So it's just really the best thing about it is that it's custom. It's what you need for the amount of people. And then when it's going to be me. Like
Yes.
you have a contact, and
Yes.
like I said, I answer my own phone.
Yeah, right.
I mean, my husband helps, but it's not a big company. It's just me.
It's you.
Email me or text
Yeah.
me. It's me.
What are some unique things that you have made for people, or some unique requests?
Oh, well, it's funny. Mostly, a lot of times they like the tapas. That seems to be the thing, and it has been the thing for a while now.
Interesting.
People want to have a variety of small bites. Even in the cooking classes, here's one thing I realized living in Prescott: the dinner party is alive and well. The happy hour is alive and well. There seems to be a lot of entertaining that happens between like 4 and 6.
Makes perfect sense.
Cocktails and whatever.
Yes.
Because I've done a lot of either private chef stuff or even the cooking classes where we incorporated tapas. Tapas are a big thing, so I guess we can thank Barry Barb for that, right? Everybody.
You know what? I believe, and I'll go back to check this in December because I have a little time. I believe El Gato Azul is the #1 restaurant when I ask my guests, name your favorite restaurant. Like El Gato Azul is always up there.
Yeah, well, they have a cool vibe, and again, I like the tapas too because you don't have to commit to one thing.
Exactly.
When you can have 8 things.
Why not?
Yeah, and drinks.
Yes.
So it's not a hard sell.
Yeah.
But that seems to be the trend, and I don't really see it ending. Like
Good
I said,
point.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the groups are smaller, but I do think people here, they do enjoy socializing. And because there's so many people moving here and newer people, they're open to meeting new people, which is helpful because everyone's an open, is welcoming.
Absolutely.
And open. So,
and
that
food.
helps.
I mean, that's what we can gather around.
Yeah.
It's that conversation starter in a sense.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody mills around, and you can kick up a conversation, or they bring stuff, or it's a lot of, and of course, alcohol helps. That loosens things up a bit.
It definitely does. You mentioned, for an example, that you made some food for someone's 80th birthday. What other unique parties or things have you done? Maybe
Well, I did a lot of anniversaries, a lot of birthdays, girls' night out, that kind of thing. Gatherings. I haven't had any guy parties yet. I don't know why. Probably, but maybe they don't want a woman in their midst.
I'd have you take care. Oh, I'd have you take care of that in a heartbeat.
But just a lot of intimate. I would say like intimate catering. Like I am not going to be your person for 100 people. I don't have the equipment for this facility. I am the smaller, manageable things.
Makes
and
sense.
I have control of everything. I can control everything that way, and I don't. I make everything.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
the 80th birthday party, I made a carrot cake. I made appetizers. I made barbecue. That
is wonderful.
So I do what I can manage at this point. So
that's great. Do you do most of it out of your house? How does the kitchen side of things work for you?
I can. Well, I'll either do it mine or their house. For some of it, I can do their house. I just cook on site, and then my son works down in the valley. So I mean, if I really get into a pinch, I can go down and use. He teaches culinary at the high school.
No kidding.
A different high school down there. He followed my footsteps.
My gosh!
And he was in industry too. He graduated at NAU with a hospitality degree, and he worked in the industry, and then he went to teaching as well for a lot of the same reasons. It was more civilized, and so and he has a son too. So so he's doing that, so I can use his space if I really need to. But I try to take what I can manage. So I'm all about work-life balance. At this point in my life. So but I do like to be busy, so it keeps me out of trouble.
And lastly, there's a section on your website where you've got some recipes. Speak to some of those. Yeah,
I have a few recipes up there. When people come to my classes, I always have my information on the packets, and so if they have questions about recipes or people need things, they can call me and I help them or text me. But I do have some recipes on there that have pictures and directions and all that, and I have plenty more to add, but. I always seems to be the part where I always fall short, of the time. But if I do have, somebody needs something, like I said, I have a lot of people who've come to classes religiously. You know, I have quite a following now through Spice Traveler in particular, and After 11, and they'll text me, hey, do you have a buttercream recipe? Hey, do you have this? And I'm a sharer, so I share. You know, I mean that's.
Oh, you're a massive resource. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Well, and
so it's great that you enjoy. That's another part of that giving.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I have a great buttercream cake recipe.
Yes,
like,
and I didn't get this way by myself. I got it because other people gave to me. And that's the thing. That's why I think, you know, as a general rule, chefs should be, you're not going to give out the recipe for your signature item that you're making all your money on, but we should be open. We should be open. You know, we can help people out.
Yeah.
You know, they're still going to come to your restaurant because nobody wants to cook 24/7. But
exactly.
You know, but that's how I feel. It's food is meant to be shared. Really.
I agree.
Yeah.
I love that attitude. Yeah, that brings up such a unique thing when you hear of someone who has a dish or a recipe that they just don't want to let go of, and you're going, really? But wait, how much pleasure that would bring to so many people if you just simply shared it.
Right.
It's kind of a unique thing that someone's holding on to.
Yeah. Well, usually there's a dollar amount attached. They want to sell or whatever, but you know,
look, most people aren't going to open a restaurant and get rich and famous off your recipe.
Probably not.
Like, they're just not. The probability is pretty low. So
might as well make people happy.
You might as well make people happy. I think that's where I come out.
I agree. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I actually have a lady who she started watching my podcast, and she decided she wanted to start a podcast. So she on two or three occasions has borrowed my gear. You know how much pleasure it brings me to just give, like, go do it, have fun. That makes me happier than most things in life.
Yeah, no, it is. You're helping somebody out, and it's your area of expertise. Yep. So, you know, it feels good to share that. You
exactly.
know? I mean, I always look at it like when chefs don't want to give recipes or whatever, or if I made something for a place I worked and somebody took their recipe, you know, I'll make another one.
Right.
I'll come up with something else. Like, all right, you can have the credit for that or whatever. It's fine. I'll make up something else. Like,
exactly.
It's really not a big deal.
Yeah.
So, that's just kind of how it is.
Okay. Well, you've shared a lot about cooking. What is it about Greater Prescott that keeps you here? Just speak to a little bit about that.
Okay. Well, I really think it has to be the people. I have met so many wonderful people, just really nice, down to earth, welcoming. You know,
very much.
Yeah, welcoming people. Even the people I've met my coworkers, the bosses here at Spice Traveler, or after, like, everybody's just very nice, and so I don't know why you wouldn't want to live here, and it's beautiful. I drive, home. I see wildlife. I've got trees.
Yep.
We have usually pretty decent weather.
Yeah.
And of course, being downtown. I mean, take a drive through. It's charming.
It is.
I mean, people complain it's busy. It's getting busier or whatever, but it's still lovely.
It is.
It really is. So I think
agree.
it's a great place to be.
Yeah.
I told you earlier, I kind of wish I would have raised my kids here. I think it's got a really nice family atmosphere. But I love Prescott. So every time we go down to Phoenix, I can't wait to get back up here. And then I think, do we really have to go to Phoenix?
Yeah, right.
But of course, my grandkids are down in Phoenix,
so you really got
we go to Phoenix.
Yep.
But I love it here. I just think it has a great vibe, and
I agree.
I can see why people want to move here. So
I could not agree more. For the same reasons that you shared, that's why we moved up here from the Valley as well.
Yeah.
It's just a great area.
Of course, we used to say the Valley, and everybody knew it was Phoenix. Now you say the Valley, they're like, California?
Yeah, that's true.
Like the other Valley.
The other Valley.
The original
I haven't
Valley.
heard that, but that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right. 2 more things to wrap it up.
Okay.
I am going to, this is the rapid fire question section. So I'm going to ask you 7 questions and just answer what first comes to mind.
Oh, gosh.
If there's more than one answer, just give it.
Okay.
You already know all the answers.
It's just like speed dating all of a
A
sudden.
little bit.
All right.
First question, what's your favorite thing about Greater Prescott?
Like I said, the people. Yeah, people for sure.
What's your favorite restaurant in Greater Prescott?
Ooh. I like Farm Provisions. It's really good. Mm-hmm.
What's the number one thing on your Greater Prescott bucket list?
Ooh, more hiking. Yeah.
Great trail system.
Yeah.
What's your favorite all-time pastry?
Ooh. I like a sfriladelle, which is an Italian pastry. Looks like a seashell kind of. So that's my favorite pastry, and I think it's because from New Jersey, you know, we have a lot of Italian pastry back there.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I just have eaten lots and lots of it over my lifetime.
The confession comes out.
Yes, if you must know.
What are 3 words to describe living in Greater Prescott?
Let's see, outdoorsy, friendly, and healthy. I think healthy.
If you weren't a chef, then what type of work would you be doing?
If I wasn't a chef, I would probably do some kind of work with animals.
Okay.
I love dogs.
All right. How many dogs at home?
We have one now. We
Okay.
have we had 2 and one passed away, Penelope, but we have Casey now.
All right.
And so she's an older lab retriever, and she is in charge of waking me up whenever she feels it's time for me to get
Yeah.
up. So
There you go.
It's her job. Yeah.
Last question. What is your favorite summer activity in Greater Prescott?
Well, same thing. I do like to go hiking.
Okay.
And then we're usually really busy with cooking classes over the summer.
Yeah.
So just, you know, being downtown and, you know, walking around and eating out, you know, finding places with patios and enjoying. So, yeah, all those fun things
Good.
that we love here.
I love Farm Provisions. It is a wonderful restaurant. Ryan and Brittany are great people. They've been really good to me over the couple years. And a couple of the things that, you know, the restaurant industry is really challenging. And one of the things that they do that I really like is they are open Wednesday through Sunday. So every Monday and Tuesday it's closed. And it's this idea, and you shared a little bit about it, just trying to create an environment in a restaurant where people want to come to work. And that's not the only thing you need to do in terms of setting a schedule, but I really like how they do that.
Yeah.
And they seem to have a really nice operation over there.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, if you can have the same set days off, your people know what to expect. It's a way to create some normalcy for your staff. And
Exactly.
So I think that's wonderful. Yeah, I mean, I wish everybody would follow suit.
Right?
Maybe not be open every holiday, maybe,
Yeah.
you know.
Or for all 3 meals. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's hard for restaurants to make money. I understand that, but
It is.
you're right. They have to try to find some kind of balance
Yeah.
to make it successful.
Yep.
So, super.
Last
Yes.
thing, look at the camera, tell everyone where they can find you,
Okay.
and I will also put up all the information.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Well, you can find me at cookingatthecabin.com. It's my website. And I'm also at Spice Traveler frequently.
Okay.
As I said, we're going to be starting a new baking program here. And
Yes.
so I'll be spending more time in the store. So,
Nice.
yeah, if you reach out, I will respond.
Great.
I am my own person.
Yay.
My own communication system.
Yeah, and what almost every guest has revealed is just how much they enjoy helping people. And so if you have any questions about the things like the classes, the events, the personal chefs type stuff, shoot her an email, guys.
Yeah, please do.
She's a huge resource,
Yeah,
as you can
thanks.
tell.
Thank you,
Which
yeah.
is what I love is that the people who sit across, just they want to help people. And in your case, it has to do with food. To
Yeah.
other people, it's photography or whatever it is.
Right.
I just love that.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, Matt. This was a lot of fun.
Good.
Yeah.
Did you settle in?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're right, I almost forgot about that.
Yeah,
camera.
you just kind of forget. Is there anything else before we wrap it up?
No, just that if anybody is aspiring to become a chef, anybody young who wants to talk about the industry and what it takes to get through culinary school or how to get up and get a start, I'm always welcome to mentoring
Okay.
and sharing insight if anybody has any questions. So
I could
happy
go
to
on
help.
for a long time about that because I think that would be vitally important for a lot of people to have a sense of what's it like to go to culinary school? What's it like to get a job afterwards? Like, what's the kind of trajectory of that sort of work?
yeah. What's it really like?
What's it really like?
Yeah.
And this is one of the challenges with going to college is you oftentimes just don't know what it's really going to be like. So the earlier you can learn what it's really like, the better off everyone is. Because it may be a really good fit for you and it may not.
Right. I agree.
Like if you want to be a teacher, I think you should get into a classroom before you even start college. Like get
Right.
into a second grade
Yeah.
class to see, does that even interest you? So I'm really glad you bring
Right.
that up.
Yeah, and if
'cause-
you watch a lot of Food Network, It's not necessarily the same as working in a kitchen. It's different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's good to know that before you sink a lot of money in culinary school.
Yeah. So you have a heart for that. That's awesome.
I do. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, if there's nothing else, then I'll wrap it up. Nothing else?
I think we're good.
Well, guys, again, I'm going to put all Deb's information, cookinginthecabin.com. Let her know. Huge resource. Stop by, Spice Traveler, all of you. Thanks for letting us use your spot, Bill. We really appreciate it. And then come by for the upcoming pastries and things like that.
Stay
I'm
tuned.
excited.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
They found a good catch, I think, with you.
Thanks.
So, guys, again, thank you for watching and have a great day.
Thanks.